Hi, my name is Micaiah Lynch. I am a future high school English teacher, and this is my Dispositions of Teaching video presentation. Our first topic of discussions is what dispositions I believe that I possess that will make me an effective teacher. The first and most important disposition that I believe I possess is compassion. I try to be compassionate in every area of my life, and I look forward to the opportunity to being compassionate with my students in my future classroom. I understand that in the area that I plan to teach, a lot of my students will have a very rough background, and I will never know what they are going through at home, and I don't know what's going to be walking through my door that day. I think that having compassion with students creates an atmosphere of mutual respect, therefore they will inevitably do better in their academics. I also believe myself to be a pretty self-aware person. I think that I have been taught a lot of self-reflection, and I think that helps me grow as a person, and I think that it will help me grow as an educator to be better for my students and be better for myself. The areas that I need to work on as a future educator would be advocacy. I am not the best at going out into the community and volunteering. I am new to the area that I'm in, but that's not necessarily an excuse. There are ample opportunities to volunteer and be a part of the community, and I should and will do better at that. We also need to discuss what attributes I believe an educator should have, and the first one that comes to mind is a passion for teaching. I think that if you're not passionate about teaching, you're not holding yourself to a higher standard. You're most likely not meeting expectations, and you can't expect your students to be passionate about something that you are not passionate about. I think that you're ultimately letting your students down if you don't have that passion that drives you. I also think that all educators need to have effective communication skills. I understand that there is a very diverse group of students in most schools, and you need to be able to communicate with all of them and communicate with all of them well as their parents and your fellow faculty members for the benefit of everyone, including yourself. Educators also need to practice patience and flexibility. Again, there's a very diverse range of students in your classroom. They don't all respond the same and they don't all learn the same, so it will take that higher level of patience to teach them, to grow with them, and flexibility comes in hand when things don't necessarily go your way or go according to plan, because it really doesn't always go that way. And of course, the dispositions that we possess or don't possess as educators will have either a positive or negative impact on our students. Assuming that we possess all of the good qualities and dispositions of educators, we will be creating a positive and supportive environment for our students. I've made this point a couple times, but we don't always know what our students are going through. We don't even know what all of our coworkers are going through, and cultivating that environment for our students, for them to have a safe place to come to, will ultimately encourage their learning too. Some of the negative impacts that we can have on our students is not addressing bullying or peer pressure. Some of our students might feel like they're alone and they have no one to turn to, and if we don't step up and do our part, then what they're thinking is really true. The next topic is how will I as an educator uphold the ethics of the profession? And the most obvious answer to this question is by referring to the Code of Ethics for Educators, which is a resource that just keeps us accountable, helps us maintain our integrity, and succeed in our field. The last question, and my personal favorite question, is how will I encourage moral development in my classroom? And the first way that I plan to do this is by encouraging acts of service and acts of kindness. I had a lot of teachers that did this in my life, and it definitely left an impact on me. And ultimately, I think that's the goal as teachers. We want to get our point across. We want to teach them the academics, but we also want them to leave our classroom better than they came in. I like to think of myself as a pretty positive person, very glass half full, and I intend to carry that over into my classroom. I want to create and promote a healthy classroom, a positive classroom environment for my students to feel safe, because I think that in an environment where they're happy, where they feel safe, where they're comfortable, it will open them up to learning more and learning better. In conclusion, the dispositions that we possess as educators will affect our students in one way or another, so we need to be intentional in how we are affecting our students.